Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nana Fitriah. I'm studying in University Muhammadiyah Bogoraya and I'm semester 4th in English Education Department. This time I will share about words that often to use in article to academic reading. The first is acquire. It's meant to get as one's own, to come into possession or control of, often by unspecified means. Example sentence: how can a person acquire faith? And the next, the Bible urges you acquire windows, acquire understanding. And there are the words relative to acquire, such as achieve, achieve, amass, bring in, buy, collect, and earn. The second is adequate, sufficient for a specific need or requirement, adequate time and amount of money, adequate to supply their needs, also good enough, of a quality that is good or acceptable. For example, we also did not get adequate for ration. First, spend adequate time with your mate. And there are similar words in sufficient. No. And the similar words is there are enough, ample, requisite, opposite. The third is adjacent, means close to or near something. You may consider the people up and down your street to be neighbors, but your next door neighbor is the person who lives in the house or apartment adjacent to yours. For example, did you jump over from the adjacent building? And adjacent can refer to things that touch each other or have the same wall or border. And the fourth is aggregate, to collect or gather into a mass or whole. The census data were aggregated by gender to amount to a whole sum or total. Total audience aggregating several million people. For example, the people get together, and there are similar words is added, complete, whole, assemble, mass, accumulate, gather. And the fourth is aid, help given, assistance, providing aid and comfort, especially tangible means of assistance such as money or supplies. For example, please lend him some more aid. And or is the quickly set up a first aid clinic. And aids help the refers to aids is assistance given from one country to other. It includes money, equipment, training, and loans. The next is albeit. Albeit is a conjunction meaning even though or although. It always written as one word, not as. For example is be it not that bad. The written is albeit is used to introduce a subordinate clause that qualifies or contrasts with the information given in the main clause of a sentence. For example, hence, we also have power, albeit to a limited extent, and albeit difficult to understand, she never complains. And the next is amend. To do something to correct a mistake that one has made or a bad situation that one has caused. For example, she tried to make amends by apologizing to him, or I'd like to make amends to you for my behavior last night. Some common synonyms of amend are correct, amend, redress, reform, remedy, and refuse. And there are append. In computer programming, subsection is a command used as a file processing application to add a new record to a file or combine between a new file and an old one. Subsection function is to add item at the end of the list with higher level programming bahana. For example, all they had to do was append a tracking code to their emails. And the next there is bulk. Magnitude in 3 dimensions, especially grid size or extent, a massive or massive bulk, a divisive cycle better known for his bulk than for his speed and agility. For example, when possible by its bulk, or their secret height bulk is water. And there is bond. A bond is a type of security under which the insurers owes the holder of debt and is obligated, depending on the terms, to provide cash flow to the creditor. For example, she has invested most of her money in stock and bonds. And the next is their defier. Defier is a verb used with object deriving to receive or obtain from a source or origin, usually followed by from. And for example, much of it is derived from family interaction he has overheard through the years, or from this physicalness the realistic novel differs in less intimacy, and the rivers have similar words is emanate, originate, stem from, this can flow. The next there is deviated. To stray especially from a standard principle or topic, deviating from the subject, to depart from an established course or norm. For example, is he almost never deviates from his usual routine. The investigation showed that the airplane has deviated from its scheduled route. And there is diminish. Diminish is to make less or cause to appear less. Diminish an army's change his role in the company was diminished to lessen the authority, dignity, or reputation. For example, saying my strength diminishes is very hard, or they in no way diminish the value of the Hebrew scriptures. The next is empirical. Is research using empirical evidence. It is also a way of gaining knowledge by means of direct and indirect observation or experience. Empiricism values some research more than other kinds. Empirical evidence to record of one's direct observation or experience can be analyzed quantitatively or quantitatively. For example, theory and empirical evidence. It defies empirical analysis. And empirical has stepped to empirical cycle. The first is observation. The second is induction. The third is deduction. The fourth is testing. And the fifth is evaluation. And the next is enormous. When something is very big, it can be called enormous. For example, good heavens, that pimple on your cheeks is absolutely enormous. It covers half your face. The word enormous contains within it, if you look closely, the root nor as in normal. So what you're saying when you call something normals is that it's beyond what is normal. You're trying to compute a sense of exaggerated difference. The next is guarantee, a promise or assurance, especially when indicating that something is a specified quality, content, definite, and act. Example, honestly is no guarantee of success, or see the accompanying box, both a name and a guarantee. Synonym of guarantee there are bond, assure, and there is incline, to cause, to stop or bow, ban, to have influence on, persuade. His love of books inclined him toward a literary career. For example, to my saying incline your ear, or an easier incline in constructed that by facing the ledge of structure. And there are synonyms in incline is love, rise, deep, great. And there is invoke, is used to putting into effect or calling upon such thing as laws, authority, or privilege. Example, No, they do not invoke Satan by name or other religion to invoke the help of saints. Invoke is primarily used in sense to call forth or up, and is often found in connection with such things as memories, emotion, or sympathies. Invoke have synonym of invoking, verb call upon, conjure, beseech, pray, request. And the next is levy. A levy is a sum of money that you have to pay, for example, as a tax to government. For example, in 1874, England made income to tax a permanent levy on its citizens. Levy is a sum of money that you have to pay, for example, to a tax to government. And the last one is prohibit. Now permitted, forbidden by authority, the police can arrest anybody found in vicinity or of prohibited drug, whether has an innocent visitor or the real culprit. For example, there was no evidence that the athlete was trying to improve his performance when he took the prohibited substance. Smoking on site is strictly prohibited. And there are similar words is forbid, ban, bar, interdict, veto. Okay, enough for me. I hope this video giving you benefit. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for your time. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.